COVID has thrown yet another curveball at me. I had planned to go to the DMV this week to go get the Civic registered, but I showed up at the DMV, and apparently you have to have an appointment now to go to the DMV, which I should have figured. I should have researched that before I drove there, but now I know. So I can't get a schedule to register until for a couple of weeks, which sucks. So I'm kind of at a standstill, but I'm just going to forge ahead. I'm going to skip ahead in my list, and I'm going to tackle something new today on the Civic, and hopefully it'll kill enough time until I can actually go to the DMV and start to try to get it registered. So let me show you what we're working on today. We're going to work on the interior. So I've been holding off on doing the rear seats until I had everything kind of squared away, like registered and all the exterior stuff figured out first, but I'm kind of at a standstill right now for the exterior things. So I figured I'll just jump ahead in the list and start working on the rear interior. So today I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to wash my seat belts because they are filthy. I'm going to start washing the rear seats as well because they are also filthy. And then I'm going to remove the rear interior trim, so the quarter panels and the window surrounds. I need to get those out so I can attach the seat belts. I still need to weld in the center bracket for the rear seats, so that's going to have to wait for a little while, but I figure I can get a jump on getting the rear seat belts reinstalled, and that'll be good. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to get these trim pieces out, get the seat belts cleaned, and then we'll start knocking out the interior bits. I think we all have a box like this, full of our shameful secrets, right? So this is just kind of my catch-all for parts and stuff. So I've been storing away my seat belts in here just to keep them, off my garage floor and keep them protected from elements. So everything should be in here. Got all the bagged bolts and stuff. Here's another one. So I pulled these seat belts out of a hatch a guy was parting out. So I've had these for a while. A while actually. So they are in pretty good shape still, functionally, but they're really grimy, really dirty. They were in that car for 20-something years, and now they've just been sitting in my garage in this box of shame for a while as well. So I'm gonna get these cleaned, and then we'll get them installed in the car. I also have these two little hangers. These just weren't in my car, so I went and grabbed these. These are for the seat to latch, so I'm just gonna put these back in. Super easy, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something, so let's do it. Just kidding, you have to have the rear quarter panels out to install these, so let's go do that. So for the interior, you've got to remove this. It's the B-pillar trim, and it's all one piece. It goes along the roof and down by the front seat belt. So you got to get that out. And then it's this rear quarter is all one piece. It starts at the B-pillar and it comes all the way back to the tailgate, and that's all one piece. So it's really, you're just dealing with two large pieces of trim. It's just the top piece and this bottom piece. But there's a mixture of factory fasteners, so you'll have to get an interior pry tool to get that. And then there's a few Phillips head screws in here as well, and I believe there's a couple of 10mm bolts. I might be wrong about that, but I have my 10mm just in case. So let's start just getting all of this stuff out. So fortunately for me, all of the rear carpet has been removed. I say fortunate, but I'm gonna have to replace that. So kind of fortunate. Fortunate for now, we'll say. Anyway, it's been removed. Well, that's nice. But it's absolutely filthy back here. There's just piles of sand randomly around here, and we don't live near a beach, so I don't know where this came from. So I'm gonna vacuum this all out and get it actually clean enough for me to sit in there and not feel gross. So let's do that. It may not look better, but it's better, trust me. I've been trying to do this in bits and pieces, and I've been making good progress. I've got the passenger side pretty well taken care of. So I'm gonna work on the driver's side now, and I'll show you exactly how to get the quarter panel off and to get this top panel off as well. Alright, to get this off, there are several different kinds of fasteners. So you'll have 10mm bolts like this, and there's one here as well. And then, oh, here's one as well. And then you're gonna have a couple of plastic clips. Mine have already popped out, but that's one. There's one down here. And then the rest of this is just held in by clips that you just pull out. So just keep an eye out, like don't go yanking on these things right out of the gate, because there's a lot of fasteners that hold these things to the car. So I'll start pulling those out. So let's just start with these 10mm fasteners. So you just need to pull this panel off, this middle section. It's super easy. Just get your trim remover or a flathead. It pulls right out. Okay, with the fasteners removed, all that's holding this whole piece in are just a series of clips along the top edge. And then there's some clips that it'll actually kind of wrap around the door frame, so you have to pull it away from the door frame to get it to release, and I'll show you how to do that. But it's best just to start back here with your trim remover and just pop them off. I'm gonna stop there and I'll move to the door frame and I'll show you how to get that free. So you see this black trim piece, that's all part of the rear quarter. So you just need to get your piece and pull it away from the frame. So there. Just make sure not to really crank on it, because apparently whoever did this before, they really cranked on it and cracked it. So just be careful, start at the bottom. That's what these are for, and just kind of pry it up and it should release itself pretty easily. This entire quarter is all free now. All the fasteners are removed, all the clips are popped off, so it'll just lift right away. And there we go. Woo, it is dirty back here. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do some tidying up back here for sure. So to get this off, it's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of clips along the top, but you do need to remove this bolt from your seat belt. That way it'll slide out freely, and you do need to loosen up your strut. You need to take the strut out so it'll clear that. So not very hard, but again, you got to be gentle with these. This is old brittle plastic and you don't want to break the clips. So just use your pry tool, but be gentle with it. Again, remember, these bolts come out with a lot of washers. You want all the washers to remain where they are. There's a captive bolt, there's a spacer, a washer, another one. So keep this all together. All right, for the strut bar, it's just a size 12, so you just need to get your wrench on it and then just back it out. It'll probably be stuck on there pretty good, but it'll break free. If you need to use some PB Blaster, go right ahead. But mine haven't been that big a struggle to get out, so shouldn't be a big problem. With the seatbelt removed and the strut bar removed as well, everything else is just a clip. So take your pry tool and just start popping them off. There we go. One thing to keep in mind, you see this tab? So this is from the A-pillar trim. This tab actually slides underneath the B-pillar trim. So when you pull out this final clip right here, you're gonna need to pull this out and back to get it free from this. It's not very hard, and you'll get it right away, but just keep in mind, don't just yank it all back, because you'll pull off your A-pillar trim if you do that. So pull it off a little bit and then back, and it'll come free. So now, with it all exposed, we can install our rear seatbelt assembly. And it's pretty easy. There's only one way it goes in. It goes right into this cavity and attaches right here, and then the anchor, the upper anchor point is up here. So on the driver's side, there's a little bit more to contend with because you have a wiring harness, and this is the hood release cable and the fuel tank release cable. So you just have to weave it up under the cables and into, actually coming through this way, it goes right into here, like that. And this is why having a baggie handy is always a good idea. I know exactly where my bolts are. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but it is hot today. And I'm doing this on my lunch break between video conference calls. I don't know about you guys, but the transition to being work from home it was a little rough at first, but now I actually really enjoy it. But man, I take so many calls, it's ridiculous. All right, so that's how it hangs. So the next part is to take the floor anchor, and it runs right along here behind this bracket. It'll follow the contour of the wheel well and attaches right at the base of the wheel well. I'll show you. All right, so the belt comes all the way back from, I guess you would call that the C-pillar. It comes down, it'll follow the contour, it goes behind this bracket, down, and this is your anchor point right here at the base of the wheel well. So there we go. You've got the anchor, the floor anchor, and then I'm just connecting it to the buckle just to keep it in place, but there we go. So that's right where it should land, right along the wheel well, all the way up to the upper anchor bolt on the C-pillar. All right, so installing the rest of the seat belts is really straightforward. It's pretty obvious where they go, but what's not so obvious is the sequence. So this is the driver's side over here. So your first anchor is going to be for the shoulder belt right here. The next hole, this one, that's going to be for the center lap belt. And this hole, the next one after that, down here by the fuel pump, this is for the shoulder buckle. And then you're going to go over the fuel pump, and you're going to go to the next hole right here. This is for the passenger shoulder. And then the very last one right here, this is for the center lap belt buckle. And then the very last one is for the shoulder bottom anchor right here by the wheel well. So to rehang the upper trim piece, I failed to mention you are going to need to take the lower anchor and thread it through the trim piece. Mine has been chopped on and kind of ruined. looks like somebody tried to remove it without actually taking the trim piece off. Really, you only have this much space to work through, so it can be a little tricky to thread it through, but you do have to get that that belt through that hole and then attached to here. And then same here on the B pillar, just reattach your seat belt. And then up here, again, the A pillar and the B pillar meet. So you just slide this piece, the A pillar trim piece, under the B pillar like that. And then everything else, all of the other clips just match up. So the quarter piece, it's just big and awkward, but it's not too difficult to get back in place. You have a lot of things that'll guide you, like this bracket, your top of the suspension hole here, and even like the door sill will help you get it back into place. The tricky thing is maneuvering it between the seat belt, right? So your bottom anchor is right here, and then the actual shoulder belt should be coming over the quarter piece. So you just kind of have to thread it between these two. And then everything just pops back into place. So all the clips along the top, then replace your fasteners and you're good to go. Okay, as you can see, all the interior bits are back in, have the quarters on and the headliner pillars, and also my seat belts are installed now. So the only thing left to do now is to replace my center bracket, which I'm actually sitting on right now where it should go. So I'll have to do that, but that needs to be welded into place. I still haven't figured out how to do that yet. I don't have a welder, and I don't know how to weld, but I'm sure I know somebody that has a welder and knows how to use it. I'm pretty sure I know somebody. I'll find out if I know somebody. Anyway, so I need to get that installed in the car, and then I can get the rear seats. So the bench and the seat backs will just go right in. So that's pretty good. So that's all I've got today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully it was a little helpful. I know like removing the interior pieces can be a little intimidating sometimes, but these ones really are really simple. Like just take your time, go slow, and be gentle with them. Like this is plastic and it's over 20 years old. So you just gotta be gentle and it'll come out. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Again, I learn a ton from just interacting and learning from you guys. So tell me what I did wrong, tell me how to do it easier. Yeah, that would be really helpful for me anyway. All right guys, we'll see you in the next one.